Hi everybody, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I don't even know if I should call it a YouTube channel because I don't really post consistently, but I really felt it necessary and felt it in my spirit to share this video today because I've been experiencing a few issues with my teeth, and my mom has issues with her teeth, and my grandfather on my father's side actually has had dentures for quite a while. So I do have people in my family that I can immediately reference that have had issues with their teeth and the struggles that they've had with having teeth falling out and how that can impact the quality of your life. So I really felt it quite important for me to make this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get some tips and some inspiration and courage to actually look after you. So a little bit of backstory. I have kind of seen my grandfather with dentures for quite a considerable amount of time in his elder years. I had to witness him having to chop food with a knife and a fork before he can actually put it in his mouth, because he just wasn't able to do that with his dentures, because dentures were just uncomfortable and he didn't like having them in his mouth for long periods of time. And in order for him to eat any type of food or meat or whatnot, he had to actually chew it with a knife and fork before he could swallow it. So that was my first kind of reference of what having difficulty with your teeth can look like. And then recently, my mother has also been having some struggles with her teeth, and it hasn't really been nice to witness her losing a few of her teeth at the back and her having to get implants, and just witnessing the kind of effect that had on her confidence and how it made her feel. Just losing her teeth, and she would jokingly just make reference to not having teeth and whatnot, and it just wasn't nice. Although she does have solutions that can make it more aesthetically pleasing when she's out and about, it's still quite difficult for her to look at herself in the mirror when she's home by herself and see that she has lost teeth. So that was also just another example of how important it was for me to look after. And I also remember when I was growing up, my father would be like, I don't know if most of you guys know this, but my father is a medical doctor. So I just remember him always saying to us, you have to brush twice a day, you have to regularly floss your teeth. And he would always instill that in us. And for some odd reason, I always listened to him, but I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. And I think that a lot of the times, especially, and I don't know if I'm wrong or right, you can let me know in the comments below, but I think a lot of the time in Black households, or the Black households that I've been in, brushing twice a day has not really been as much of a priority. And I think that's more of a lifestyle thing. But yeah, that's just what I've observed. So I think a lot of the times we don't prioritize the evening brushing in our communities. A lot of the time we wake up in the morning, we brush our teeth just because we don't want to have bad breath around other people and have our teeth looking all yellow in front of people. But I think one of the most important things that I want to impart from this conversation is that the nighttime brush is definitely way more important. The evening brush, honestly, it makes all the difference in the health of your teeth long term. And I think that a lot of us need to start instilling that in our kids from an early age, that brushing before bed needs to become a rule in your household. It needs to be something that you do regularly with your kids, so that I remember during COVID, I used to always tell people on my Instagram, I'm not sure if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, my handle is at BickyG on Instagram. And I used to always tell the community on Instagram that it's quite important for you to brush your teeth, look after your teeth, floss. I'd also tweet about it whenever I would remember. And I would also encourage all of the people that I engage with on social media to really look after their teeth. Over the past 2 years, I haven't been as consistent because I just had 2 kids. Masana was born in 2021 February, and Nzalama was born 2022 November. And over that period, I haven't really been as consistent.
How are you? Good. How's your mouth feeling? I just feel really very nice. Beautiful. Okay. Nice to see you.
Guys, I'm so stressed. Sorry, I'm a little numb, so that's why it looks very awkward right now when I'm speaking, but I didn't realize how bad things were. Oh my God. Also, I'm generally a person that takes care of their teeth. I floss regularly, I brush regularly. But I think the past 2 years, because of the pregnancies and the babies, I wasn't as focused on my teeth. And it's showing. So this is a reminder to everybody to please look after your teeth. Go to the dentist regularly. Fast forward to last week. I was flossing my teeth as I usually do when I brush my teeth. You know, sometimes to get my teeth looking really nice and white, I use bicarbonate of soda with my toothpaste, and I'll just add a little bit on my toothpaste, and I brush my teeth, and I floss, and then I will use Listerine to rinse my mouth and do all of that. I was doing all of that. And then as I was flossing, something at the back of my mouth broke off. And I was like, what is that? So I spat it out and I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I just broke my tooth. And so that was a sign for me to go ahead and book an appointment with the dentist. So, I haven't been as consistent, but I remember when I was pregnant with my son, I did go in to a local dentist near me for a clean and a checkup, and I did do that during 2021. I did do that because I obviously was pregnant, and I knew that it was quite important for me to check on my teeth because I don't want my teeth falling out because of pregnancy. And so I went in for a clean and it was a deep clean and a check, and I did that in 2021, and it was a local dentist. And it wasn't a great experience because I've been to dentists before, and his technology wasn't that great, and so I never went back, and I think that was my mistake. So when I got to the rooms, they did an x-ray. That's the first thing they did. They did an x-ray of my jaw, and I had to take my earrings off, had to put my phone away, take off my Alice band. I didn't get that, but okay. And then they did a x-ray, 360 x-ray of my mouth, and that was just to check at a high level where the problem areas were. And then after that, we went through to the consultation room, and the doctor spoke to me about what some of the issues he could see were, and I'll insert that video right now. Yes. Okay.
Nomogram, or a PAN for short.
Okay.
So if we zoom in number one, we just need to identify which parts are which.
Okay.
So first of all, you'll see an arm, and that's to tell you that it is opposite. It's like looking at a mirror. So everything on this side is going to be the left-hand side of your mouth. Everything on this section will be the right-hand side.
Okay.
So this cavity is on the top right-hand side. It's not as clear because this X-ray gives you a very general view. So we see that's the hole here on this guy.
Oh, is that why it's a
Take
bit
out-
faded there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to take another X-ray now to give us the individual view of this tooth to see how deep the cavity goes and whether it's in the root area of this guy. Because all kiddies' teeth are not as strong in terms of their crystal structure, so how the tooth is actually set up, and decay can go in quite quickly.
Okay.
And this is still one of your, we call it deciduous teeth.
Okay.
So it's a kid's tooth that hasn't been replaced, and there's no way on this X-ray that we can see the original tooth that should have replaced it. So most likely there wasn't a tooth pushing it out, and therefore it stayed.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So it's a very old tooth.
All right.
All right, so we're going to take a close-up X-ray. I'm going to sit you back for that.
By the way, guys, I'm using my phone to record this entire thing. Like I said, I'm not consistent on YouTube. I'm not about to set up a camera and do all of that. Like, I'm really, really sorry. But I really, really hope that this quality is good enough for you, just so that you can get the information that you need. But anyway, as I was flossing, I chipped my tooth at the back. It was my molar at the back. And so I booked an appointment with the dentist for myself and for my husband. I just included him because I know for a fact that if I didn't do it, he wasn't going to make it to the dentist. So I double booked us for an appointment, and we went to the dentist, the one that I have always gone to previously, before the horrible experience. When I was speaking to the receptionist, I just told her that I've got a chipped tooth, and I want to check if I can get a filling for it and a regular clean, because that's what I usually do when I go to the dentist. And then I also wanted to get a quote on how much it would cost to do teeth whitening, because I just wanted to know how much I would need to get my teeth whitened. Anyway, fast forward to today, we ended up at the doctor's rooms, and I'll insert some footage of how the appointment went. And yeah, I got the shock of my life. I'm going to insert a video now of I'm going to insert a little clip of footage of the doctor explaining what the situation is with my mouth. Basically, he took laser images of my mouth. It's a lot clearer and a lot like more visible than what that X-ray was showing him. And so you'll see him explaining the situation of what's going on in my mouth in this clip. And yeah, I'll come back and let you know. Come back to like basically wrap up this video. But I want you to see what the state of my teeth look like. And if this does not get you to book an appointment with your dentist, then I don't know what will.
We are going to ignore the upper for now. We're going to specifically have a look at the bottom. So if we zoom in, we instantly see all of this is plaque. So that's built up on those teeth. They've got it dug into those areas. The gums have rounded off instead of being tight and knife-edged between the teeth, because this plaque is irritating it constantly. So you see these spots are where floss goes in. Floss has to go in under this. It has to slide all the way down, clean and pull forward, and that's how it removes the plaque deposits that are in those spots. So every night when we leave plaque in, some of it will settle at the gum line. As it irritates the gums, they will pull away, and then every next night it compounds, it more is getting packed and packed into those areas. And that's how we have a plaque buildup. Now the way to remove this is to numb this area of the mouth and to very gently use the vibrating tool, the scaler, to loosen those pieces off the teeth.
Okay.
When these now loosened areas are cleaned off, it depends on the original strength of the tooth whether the plaque has actually eaten away any of that tooth yet or not. That can't be visible on an x-ray because when we take the x-ray, the plaque is blocking that.
Okay.
So we will have to remove that and we'll reassess this area. You might also have movement, more movement in your teeth, because right now as the plaque sits, you see it is joined together. There's no more real separation. So the plaque, although destroying the bone and gums, is also acting as a splint at the moment to hold everything as one unit. When it comes off, you may have looseness in this area, and you may look at our braces doctor placing a wire attachment at the back and re-cleaning of that area to get it to stabilize again. Okay? So if we now take away the bottom and bring up the top here, the thing we're mainly noticing that needs to just get cut out.
I actually didn't realize how bad things were.
Yes. So you're seeing it similarly here, the plaque buildup, the lack of sharp edging of the gums as well. But in this one, what this guy doesn't show us is also we've got calculus buildups at the backs here, right through. So your primary brushing is getting done in those areas. We can even see this cavity. All of this stuff, that area is a proper problem, so that will have to be removed. This brown is all soft. That means that it must come out. If we're looking at a molar tooth on your kiddie's teeth, your nerve areas are going to be in that slot, but it also depends. If we remove decay and it moves into the nerve area, we can even get through from this spot here. So it really depends on how much of that is soft and when the brown stops and becomes it can still be brown, but a harder layer.
Okay.
If we get to a harder layer, then we can close up. But if we actually have a look in here, we're seeing additional damage to the tooth behind it. So that tooth is hurt as well because this is all a food trap. So what would have been happening initially is the filling may come out now, and that's mainly because the flossing wasn't happening. So food was allowed to build up in these areas here without ever getting removed. And if we look at the curvature of this tooth, you see how it curves in and out. That is in itself a food trap.
Okay.
So every time food got in and wasn't cleaned out, it continued to burrow its way underneath that gum. And now it's causing a problem on this guy. So now we'll remove some of that decay. I need to see whether I'm still able to see your husband today, because if I see him, we don't book very long slots for first visits.
Okay.
That's in order to assess and get the treatment done, but this is not something I would leave alone.
Okay.
So if you don't mind and I take my time with you, we might want to reschedule his booking.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that. Can you just talk to him and let him know?
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Okay.
Okay. You chill. We can take pictures of that if you like.
And then, as he was analyzing my mouth, he basically realized that the tooth that chipped at the back was still a baby tooth. And apparently, that tooth should have fallen out ages ago. And for some odd reason, there was no actual molar that was pushing the baby tooth out. And so it just stayed. So I've had the same little baby molar in my mouth for ages, basically my whole life. And it's not meant to be that way, and that's why it's so fragile. Then, as he was investigating my mouth, he realized that I have a lot of plaque buildup on the inside of my mouth. So if you look at my teeth, well, I have a filter on now, so this is not a realistic depiction of what my teeth really look like, FYI. But generally, my teeth don't look so bad. If you see me smiling, if you see my smile on a normal day in real life, my smile doesn't look all too bad, you know. But when you look on the inside of my mouth, which was something that was consistent with the last guy that I went to, the one that I didn't like, it was consistent because he also mentioned that I've got a lot of plaque buildup on the inside of my mouth, and he actually deep cleaned all that plaque. But because I didn't go again 6 months after, the buildup has now grown. So that buildup has now grown, and it's starting to eat into my gums. Okay, so plaque is basically, I'm not sure if it's a bacteria, but I mean, it is a bacteria. It's eating into my gums, and it's creating spaces in which food can like actually get stuck in my mouth. And that's why flossing is important, because you use the floss to actually get food out of your mouth in parts where your toothbrush can never ever reach. That's why it's important to floss, to get those little food particles out of your mouth. But anyway, because I haven't been doing that consistently, plaque was building up in my mouth and starting to eat away at my gums, and it's creating a lot more chaos because food is getting stuck in there and rotting in there, and yeah, basically creating a whole big mess that I don't need. Basically, the diagnosis was that I would need a temporary filling in my mouth, and I would need to come in again to get my mouth deep cleaned to get rid of the plaque buildup, and then I would need to come in again after 6 weeks to assess whether I need a root canal or if I need a filling. A permanent filling. As you can see, I've got a lot of plaque in my mouth that needs to be cleaned. I'm just grateful that there's still something that can be done, and that I'm not losing my tooth, and I'm not at the stage yet where my teeth are falling out, and you know, this was just a wake-up call for me to continue looking after my teeth and prioritizing going to the dentist, and also just a reminder that I need to instill these good habits for my daughters, because there's really nothing worse than having issues with your mouth. It just, you know, everyone looks at your teeth when you're speaking, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's focused on your teeth, your breath, and your dental formula. So it's quite important for me, for my kids, and for my family at large to just look after me. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. This video actually feels like another Instagram rant, but I hope that you guys got a little bit of encouragement from this. I think that's the main point. That's the main reason why I made this video after a long time not making YouTube videos. And for me, really, I know the quality isn't great. I'm not using a microphone. I'm not using a proper camera. I'm using my cell phone to record this. And yeah, with that being said, I just hope that I was able to help at least one person keep their teeth intact. Meno atlobola. If I tap meno how atlobola. Tapa meno. Tama tapa meno.
You're not been to another discount before?
We have been to another discount. Why wouldn't you pick us up? That's weird. Maybe it's because we've changed medical aids.
No, it shouldn't be. It's linked to the ID number and stuff.